It's week 8 here in our Chargers rebuild on Madden 24, which means we've hit the trade deadline and we're in a bit of an awkward spot sitting at 4-3 in the AFC West. We're not quite good enough to consider ourselves a contender, but we're not quite bad enough to tank either, as you can see, as we are currently mocked to pick 14th in the upcoming NFL draft. However, whilst I think we could sneak into the playoffs this season, I don't foresee us being a true Super Bowl contender, so we are going to try and build towards the future. So we are going to be trading Corey Linsley and a 6th round pick to the Texans to get back a 4 and a 7. Now, I want to keep things realistic here, and Corey Linsley, whilst he is good at 87 overall, in real life, you're just not going to get much back for a 33-year-old center who still is owed a significant amount of money over the next 2 years. So we get a not insignificant mid-round pick for this year, and the Texans continue to bolster their offensive line. And we're also going to be trading away Khalil Mack, this time to the Bills. They have a Von Miller to replace Khalil Mack, a very similar profile. And again, we're just not going to get a massive amount back for a player like this. He is a superstar X Factor. He's an 83 overall. Even his overall is not that high anymore. He is 33 years old. He is owed $38.5 million this year, so we're going to get back a 3 and a 5 for the Bills. And the final trade we're going to be making is Josh Palmer to the Cowboys for a 6th round pick. We did add Wan'Dale Robinson in the last episode as a bit of depth in our wide receiver room, and I want to get the likes of Brendan Rice and Cornelius Johnson playing a little bit more often behind our top 2 of Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey. So Josh Palmer will provide a little bit of depth for the Cowboys, and we will recoup that 6th round pick that we sent along with Corey Linsley to the Texans earlier. So we freed up a ton of cap room, a little next year with the departure of Corey Linsley, and we've managed to gain a bunch of mid to late round picks. We've now got 2 third rounders, we've got 2 4s, we've got 2 5s, a 6 and 2 7s. So we have 11 total picks in the 2025 NFL draft. Plenty of ammo to move around if we want to. We do now have 3 roster spots open, and we do have some significant holes on our defense. So we're going to be making some free agent additions to that side of the ball. The first player we're going to bring in is Adoree Jackson. He's going to play the slot with Christian Fulton and Asante Samuel outside. This is going to allow Derwin James to move back to strong safety. Speaking of safeties, John Johnson III is still on the free agent market as well. So we'll be bringing in him to play alongside Derwin James. And then finally, we do need to replace Khalil Mack 1-for-1. So we will bring in Romeo Okwara to replace Khalil Mack. Tui Pelotu will be playing significant time as well alongside Okwara though. So no significant changes to the offense with the exception of Jordan McFadden coming into play ahead of Corey Linsley at center. We do of course have Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot now as well. On defense though, we have a new look defensive line with Tui Pelotu and Okwara in at right end. We do have Fatou Kasi in at defensive tackle as well, because Sebastian Joseph Day actually signed for the Titans in the offseason. That was a move that I missed, so I've moved him over to the Titans now. Derwin James and John Johnson, a new pairing at safety as well, should significantly improve the team. So Wan'Dale Robinson will continue to play the slot on offense. So Adoree Jackson will play the slot on defense. And then in terms of our sub packages, we have Joey Bosa and Tui Pelotu playing defensive end. Fatou Kasi and Morgan Fox will kick inside on those rush downs. Miles Jack, Junior Colson, sub linebackers. So with all those additional picks, it's going to be worth having a look at the latest mock draft, which has right guard Evan Bacon going number 1 overall to the Jets. And it is a big trenches draft class by the looks of it, because we have offensive or defensive linemen basically going in the first 9 picks. It's not until you get to pick 10, Isaiah Hayward to the Bears, where you get a player who's not either an offensive or a defensive lineman. A couple of players in here we were interested in. Xavier Farrell slated to go to the Browns. He looked very, very good. Really good athlete. He has A run block finesse, B pass block finesse. So an agile lineman, looks really, really decent. Dion Spurlock looked okay. Cody Bolden was another player who looked very good. A player we would likely kick inside to guard. Great to elite. Basically everything except for acceleration. And again, really good attributes. A pass block finesse, B run block, A run block finesse. So another agile lineman that we could play at guard. Not going to get him at number 5 though. Casey Alexander looked like a decent pass rusher, but there are a couple of guys down the board that we are interested in as well. But great to elite speed, good to great strength, good to great change of direction as well. A power moves, A tackle are the highlights, but A to C block shed could turn out to be not so bad. We are currently slated to pick at 14, and the mock drafters have us picking safety Quentin Jarrett, who is up 20 places. So wasn't slated to go until the early second round, so we may not have to take him here if we're the only team that are interested in him. He certainly looks like a decent, at least, prospect. Good to great everything except great to elite agility. So fantastic athlete. And skills are not too bad either. B man coverage, B pursuit, B tackle, B hit power. 4 Bs in those particular categories. More than solid. Only a C zone coverage though. So looks fine. I'm not sure that I would take him necessarily at 14 overall. But in the second round, I would be more than happy to take Quentin Jarrett. I would potentially be more interested in some of these pass rushers a little further down the board. Luke Kincaid is a player who looks basically the same as the edge rusher we saw in the top 5 to 10 picks. Really, really good athlete. A finesse moves, B tackle. Only a D block shed though, so more of a pass rush specialist at 6'4", 266. And then we have Jamie Acosta as well, down 8 at 28 to the San Francisco 49ers. This guy looks really good, in my opinion. Pretty much as good as Casey Alexander, that top pick. Good to great everything, except great to elite jumping. He has A tackle, B hit power, A power moves, B block shed, A awareness. I think this guy's going to be really good and could easily be the best of those 3 pass rushers. LaMarcus Alley was a guy I really liked the look of as well. He would be a defensive tackle for us in our 4-3 rather than a right end, but 6'5", 296, only 21 years old. Solid enough athlete. He's not a big mover, but great to elite acceleration and great to elite strength. 2 really important attributes for a defensive tackle. And he has A block shed, A tackle, so a really, really good run stopper, but B power moves as well. And that is at right end rather than defensive tackle. So those B moves could easily be an A at defensive tackle. I guess conversely though, the block shedding and the tackle could easily be a B at defensive tackle rather than at right end. A really interesting prospect though, really high on my list at the moment. I would say at this stage, Jamie Acosta is probably the top prospect on my list, but looking at this most recent mock draft, I think if we do end up picking around 14, which is a distinct possibility, I think we could probably end up trading back and still coming away with a really talented player. One thing that surprised me with this mock draft is that we only see 1 wide receiver on it, Darren Andrews, and he is all the way back at 15. He's projected to be a top 5 talent. And when we go into the list of prospects, he is at the very top and he looks good. B catching traffic, B medium route, A short route, A spectacular catch, A run block, I guess as well. And he is the only wide receiver on the list. He's down 7 all the way at 15. So why teams are so low on him, I don't know. Why they're so low on Clayton Hayden as well, I have no idea. He didn't even feature in the first round, even though he's projected to go top 5. And again, fantastic athlete. A catching traffic, B catching, B short route, B spec catch, B deep route. Looks like a really solid player. So if we could come away with one of these late in the first or into the second round. I have also been steadily filling out my horizontal draft board. So that's really starting to take shape now as we find out more and more about these prospects too. We still need to do a lot of work on day 3. And there's a couple of positions we've neglected so far, like quarterback. But we'll round this out as we get towards the end of the season and into the off season. We do also have our national scouting focus to set for this week as well. And there are a number of players at defensive end that I know for certain I want to find out more about and get up to 100% scouted, like Jamie Acosta, like Casey Alexander, Luke Kincaid, LaMarcus Alley, Dylan Matthews, even the likes of Peter Lawrence, who also looks like a decent option to slide inside to defensive tackle. 6'6", 278, B power moves, C block shed, really, really good athlete. C hit power, C block shed is not ideal, but B power moves, C block shed is not the worst. Matthias Harvey looks like a similar player. Jimmy Barnett as well looks like he could be solid with B finesse moves, B tackle, C block shed. Maybe not quite as high on him as some of the other players, but we will be setting defensive end as our national scouting focus. And that will mean we don't have to spend any individual private visits or private workouts in the off season scouting those players to get them up to 100. And the final thing we need to do this week before we jump into our week 8 matchup is extend a couple of players, one of which is Rashawn Slater. He is interested in being on the team long term. We're going to try and up the years, take back the salary slightly. 19 million a year for 5 years. We're real close to something here, so we'll loop back around and get to Rashawn Slater in week 9. Asante Samuel would like to keep around for the long haul as well. We will offer him a 4-year deal and we'll bump the money up significantly because he, unlike Rashawn Slater, really does not want to be here. I would be happy to give Samuel 15 million a year over 4, and he does accept that. So Asante Samuel sticks around. J.K. Dobbins, undecided on. Adoree Jackson can play for his role on the team over the coming weeks. The same for Miles Jack, the same for John Johnson, Christian Fulton, and really the rest of these guys to the right. We do, I believe, have a 5th-year option on Zion Johnson that we will almost certainly be picking up as well. But for now, we have a Week 8 matchup against the Tennessee Titans to get to. Will Levis, starting quarterback. Derrick Henry, of course, has made way for Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard. So I guess we will defend the outside run this week. We will continue to try to throw the ball deep. That seems to have been working relatively well for us. And then we will go with likely our usual set of weekly goals. 15 first downs is just always a layup. We'll go 250 offensive yards. We'll allow 30 points or less. And we will try to come away with an interception again this week. We managed it last week. Let's try and do that in 2 consecutive weeks. It looks initially as though we are healthy on offense, which is good to see. Just waiting for Rashawn Slater to return from injury and take his place at left tackle. Looks as though we are fully healthy on defense as well, which you always love to see. And with that, we are good to go. So without further ado, let's head up into the booth at Nissan Stadium and start calling the plays in this one. So big game here in week 8. We have had a decent enough start to the season, to be fair. 4-3 at this stage is pretty much as we could have hoped for, but it's far more than Will Levis and the Titans could have hoped for, as they sit at 6-1 on this, well, I was going to say on this young season, but we are approaching the halfway point, and the Titans will kick to us to get this week 8 matchup underway. Darius Davis, about midway into the end zone, will take the catch, will take the touchback, and Justin Herbert will lead out his squad for the first drive of the game. He's really turned his season around in recent weeks. Justin Herbert had a very slow start to the season. Maybe just took him a little while to get the hang of this offense. Oh, that's such good coverage. Oh my God. Really good coverage from the Titans linebacker. And not a great start for our offense, but we will get a second opportunity to get those 10 yards that we need. But Sebastian Joseph Day, we shifted him over to the Titans ahead of this game, as we missed that move in the offseason, and he gets in for the sack just as Justin Herbert is going to dump the ball off to the running back in the flat. Absolutely levels the quarterback. And it's a bit of an ominous start here at Nissan Stadium, as on our first drive of the game, we have brought up a 3rd and 22. J.K. Dobbins manages to get back 6 yards. But that's all he can manage. And it's going to be 3 and out here. Chance for the Titans returner, not just to return, but to come up with some decent field position. That's good coverage down the field on the coverage unit, though. But the Titans are still going to begin from about midfield. Very good season for Will Levis so far. His first as the true starter for the Titans. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Is maybe a few more than you'd like to see. But it's also not unexpected for an essentially rookie quarterback. He's technically not a rookie, but for all intents and purposes, this is his rookie season, as Tony Pollard carries the ball for 9 yards to get the Titans started. This would be, if Will Levis was a baseball player, this would be his rookie season. Let's put it that way. So 2nd and 1 from midfield. It's going to be a run right this time, and Derwin James is all over it. Forces the Titans back a yard, if anything. And I'm not sure how much play we're going to get from Adoree Jackson today. I think John Johnson is fine to... Oh, we had him in the hole. We had him in the hole. You've got to catch him. He's not going to. Tony Pollard too quick. We had him in the hole there. Tony Pollard goes for a touchdown on the Titans' first drive, but that should have been prevented because we played that perfectly. We just couldn't get hands on him. 22 met Tony Pollard in the hole. Tony Pollard shook him free, or not even shook him free, but just evaded him completely. Had the legs to take it all the way to the house, and it's going to be 7 points after a 3 and out to start the game, and it is very much an ominous start. Darius Davis potentially with a chance to return this one right on the fringes of the end zone. And again, space opened up there. I've said it so many times this season. Block set up really, really well. And Darius Davis can't quite burst through that hole and turn on the jets to hit that second gear and break free. So drive number 2 for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. J.K. Dobbins has the speed to break free, though. He almost had the strength to break the tackle as well, and it was green grass. The only thing between him and the end zone. Good tackle by Caleb Farley, though. And we're going to try and test the Titans deep immediately here. And again, pressure up the middle. It is Sebastian Joseph Day again. Justin Herbert thankfully manages to get the ball away on this occasion. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 49-yard line. Blitz coming off that right-hand side means that space opens up in behind. Brendan Rice makes the catch and immediately goes down injured. Brendan Rice is a player that's going to need to step up and try and claim the role vacated by Josh Palmer. Gets an opportunity to do that early here, but can't stay on the field. So play action here on 3rd and 2, and I think we may have something deep. And it's Hayden Hurst right on the sideline. Too much on it from Justin Herbert. And the ball goes out of play. We're on the 43-yard line of the Titans, though, and we are going to be going for this. So big call here on 4th down early. And I think we might have our man. If he can bring it in, and he can't, knocked away. We had 2 slants on the left-hand side. We had a little zig route underneath the verticals on the right. And I thought we'd done enough to grab the conversion there, but good adjustment in coverage by the Titans linebacker. Breaks up the pass. And it is going to be solid field position again for the Titans as they begin their second drive. It's going to be a pass this time for Will Levis. Over the middle, complete. And again, we completely miss on the hit stick. Just absolutely no animation. Calvin Ridley makes the grab. Brings up another 1st and 10 for the Titans. It's going to be another run up the middle. What a block shed by Miles Jack. Gets in for the tackle. Holds Tony Pollard to just a gain of 2. Play action here for Will Levis and the Titans. Good coverage by Christian Fulton, but it can't prevent DeAndre Hopkins from making the grab. So another 1st and 10. Run left this time. Morgan Fox is there to make a really good tackle. And if it wasn't for that big run by Tony Pollard for the touchdown, we would have had him pretty much locked up for the entire game so far. We've had him in the backfield numerous times, and it's just that one run where he managed to get away. And it's going to be a second one here. Asante Samuel there trying to rip the ball free. Tony Pollard converts for the 1st down, though. Titans 7 yards out, knocking on the door. So looking to make a big stand here near the goal line. And we have been absolutely eaten alive. Absolutely eaten alive by the tight end, Wiley. I saw it was play action. I couldn't get to him until it was too late. I mean, the coverage initially was poor. I was playing play action all the way. But I just wasn't sticky enough in coverage. And I can see why the Titans are 6 and 1. Heavy run game with a lot of play action. Working out really well for them. so far here today. Another good run from J.K. Dobbins, though. So 2nd and 13 after J.K. Dobbins was absolutely swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. And this time it's dropped, I believe, by Quentin Johnston. Just a terrible, terrible start to this game. Absolutely horrid start on offense. Somehow even worse on defense. Nice little screenplay, though. J.K. Dobbins almost span away from the tackler. And if it wasn't for J.K. Dobbins, I think we would have 0 yards in this game so far. J.K. Dobbins has been an absolute star. But other than that, we've been absolutely horrendous on both sides of the ball. And we're going to have to punt away again here in the first quarter. Oh, big juke. Absolutely sells me. So 2 punts and a turnover on downs already in this game. Terrible, terrible start. And knocked away by Miles Jack in coverage. We're going to use a Tui Pelotu here as the Titans run out of empty. That's an inaccurate pass by Will Levis. Starting to see the cracks show maybe for the young quarterback. And we're going to give him potentially a look that he's not expecting here as we drop into coverage with our defensive end. And I swear you just cannot land a hit stick in this game. Chigakonkwo comes across the field to make the grab. I was there to lay the hit stick. Not immediately, but as he turned upfield, and he just whiffs. He just completely whiffs. So another 1st and 10 for the Titans. Another run right. Joey Bosa can't get off the block. Neither can Asante Samuel. And Tony Pollard has 100 yards in the first quarter. 100 yards. I have no idea what we're supposed to do on defense. Absolutely no clue. And it's going to be a toss right this time. Derwin James does manage to get off the block. It's been about the only player that's managed to do so far today. So it's going to be a 2nd and 12 for the Titans. It's going to be play action again for Will Levis. Make the tackle. Why are you stopping? Why are you stopping? No idea why our safety slowed down as we were trying to make the tackle. Nail him. Let's go. Miles Jack absolutely clobbers Will Levis, and I was hoping for a second that might be Will Levis going down injured. It's actually Morgan Fox. But Miles Jack gets in for the sack. Actually, I don't think that's going to go down as a sack. I think he managed to get the ball away. It's just going to be an incomplete pass and a quarterback hit. But Miles Jack, with the pressure at the very least, holds the Titans to just 3. But as we approach the end of the first quarter, they do already have 100 yards on the ground. They already have a turnover, and they already had 17 points. This game pretty much could not have started worse. So let's try and establish our own run game a little bit here. That's been working well for us so far. Big tackle Kenneth Murray, though. Holds J.K. Dobbins to a somewhat modest gain after it looked like he could be able to rip another big one. But it's going to be 7 yards, and it's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. So back out for the second quarter as we try and get something going here on offense. And all that we can get going is our receivers running directly into the Titans defenders. Robert Tonyan could not have got more held up there on the route he was trying to run. And honestly, tell me what I'm supposed to do when this is the route that I am trying to find. Initially gets clobbered at the line of scrimmage by Zach Sealer, then runs directly into the middle of 2 players. Just it tries to get in between them, tries to break up a fight that they seem to be having with Zion Johnson and another Titans defensive lineman. At this point, he finally manages to break free. And oh, look, Justin Herbert's already being wrestled down by one Titan, and another is coming in to help. Nothing else was open at any point. Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey both covered down the field. That was our check down. Just absolute no clue what I'm supposed to do in that situation. And that's an awful decision. I mean, we couldn't be playing worse. Let's at least take some solace in that. This is as bad as it can get. Not only on offense, but on defense as well. We're at our worst possible point in the rebuild because I literally can't imagine it getting any worse than this. So we can take some consolation in that, because that does mean it's only going to get better from here. If it can't get any worse than this, then it's only going to get better from here on out. But the Titans bring up a 2nd and 3. And I couldn't quite get back in the route. Bumped off it initially. I thought that I was going to be able to catch up with the Conquo, but not quite. Another completion for the Titans. Will Levis having a dominant game so far. And it's going to be tough for us to keep the Titans out of the end zone again here. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal so far. And I think it's going to be 24-0 before too long. As a 2nd and 2 from the 20-yard line. It's going to be another run up the middle. Miles Jack there to make the tackle. Not before Tony Pollard can turn it into a fresh set of downs, though, as he is rushing for 11 yards per carry. That's right, 11 yards per carry. We may just have to start going man coverage at some point. Check down to the flat. Absolutely embarrassing hit stick. I swear the hit sticks just don't work in this game, because you can never lay a satisfying one. Another run. Oh, Will Levis keeps it, and he's going to get into the end zone. There's going to be a flag on the play, though. Christian Fulton couldn't quite get there in time. I think it's going to be a hold, and it's going to come back. And it is going to be a hold, thank God. If Will Levis scored the 3rd touchdown of the game on a read option, I would have been absolutely incensed, but it's going to be a 2nd and 10 instead. So 2nd and 10. Time still ticking off the clock as we do accept the penalty. Again, check down into the flat. Good tackle this time as Fatakasi goes down injured. He was the player we brought in to replace Sebastian Joseph Day, and it looks like he's limping off the field. I mean, it's no wonder teams can run all over us. We have almost nothing at defensive tackle. Defensive line is going to have to be an area of the team that we really look to address in the offseason, because outside of Joey Bosa, we have pretty much nothing. Good coverage down the field, and there is, speak of the devil, Joey Bosa, as he gets in for our first sack of the game, forces the Titans back to a 4th and 22. But they are going to be able to kick the field goal from about the 27-yard line. We have 36 total yards. And somehow we have 36 total yards, having gained 38 yards on the ground. So that only tells you how well our passing game has gone today. Do have a 2nd and 5 at our 30-yard line, though. And an opportunity perhaps to make our first completion of the game. Or not our first completion, rather, but our first conversion through the air for a 1st down. But that falls incomplete. And we're going to rely, hopefully, on the interior of that offensive line to clear the space for Kimani Vidal to break free, which is exactly what they've managed to do. And Kimani Vidal takes his first carry of the game for 22 yards and into the Titans' half. And we're going to run the ball here again on 1st down. Really good blocking from Wandale Robinson just to hold that Titans defender for long enough to allow J.K. Dobbins to get 3. It's not many, but it's more than we could have expected once we saw how that play was beginning to shake out. And we'll see what we can do here on 2nd and 7. We can hit Quentin Johnston towards the sideline. Justin Herbert again has missed. These are throws you've got to make. We were saying at the beginning of the game that Justin Herbert's season has begun to turn around, but it's gone back to his old ways here in week 8. Really, really poor performance so far. And I mean, it's not his fault completely the way the game has gone so far, but he certainly hasn't elevated the team around him at this stage. Nice grab from Wandale Robinson up the seam for 18, though. It's going to be a play action here on 1st and 10. Do we have Robert Tunyon? He's taken the route in the opposite direction from what I was expecting. The ball almost fell into the hands of Cornelius Johnson, I believe. Unfortunately, it fell incomplete, and that will bring up a 2nd and 10. Decent enough block from Lad McConkey. We can only get 2 out of it, though. I'm going to try a little bit of trickery here on 3rd and 8. As we fake the jet pass and we look for Lad McConkey in the end zone. We probably should have gone the opposite way to Quentin Johnston. He's a better target in those kind of situations, and the safety was ranging over to take the option of Lad McConkey away, but we are going to have to kick the field goal on 4th and 8. But we are on the board for the first time. Long way to go in this game yet, but it's a 20-3 lead for the Titans here in the second quarter. So Titans back out for what, their 5th drive of the game. All over Tony Pollard on that occasion. I think all 3 of our linebackers were in to make the tackle there. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 9. We're matched up on Calvin Ridley in the slot with Junior Colson. We do enough to take that away. Miles Jack can't quite bring down Tony Pollard. A horde of charges on the second attempt can. And we're going to start sending a little bit of heat at Will Levis now. Tired of him picking us apart. He hasn't really responded. Oh, what a catch. What a catch, DeAndre Hopkins. We just don't have playmakers like that in our team at the moment. We just don't have players who can just go up and get it, just bail us out of a bad situation, who can just make a play in big spots. As the 2-minute warning does sound. And the Titans with a 17-point lead. The ball around midfield. And the ball after the break. Not sure what's going on here in terms of... I feel like we're a player short. I feel like we've only got 10 men on the field. Chigakonkwo bounces off the hit stick. Again, an extremely unsatisfactory impact. I feel like we had a zone missing. I feel like there should have been a deep zone in the middle of the field there that just wasn't there. Good tackle, Junior Colson. Allows the reception underneath, but he's there to hold it to just a 4-yard gain. Let's see what we can do with Joey Bosa this time off the edge. We can win inside and force the ball out quickly. Incomplete. It's going to be a 3rd and 6. And we're going to use a Joey Bosa off the edge again. We beat the right tackle. I think Nicholas Petit-Frere on the last rep. We'll try and do the same again. And Will Levis keeps it again on the read option. Or on the quarterback draw even. And Joey Bosa there to make the tackle. I was trying desperately to rip the ball free. But that's the... I can't remember now if it was read option when Will Levis was into the end zone. The one that was called back for the holding penalty. I think that one was read option. Quarterback draw this time with the young quarterback. The Titans not afraid to put the ball into Will Levis's hands here in his 2nd season. But the Titans do manage to put 3 more points on the board. And again, pressure just in so quickly. Justin Herbert can just... He doesn't have a second to think. We don't have time for these plays to develop at the moment. As Justin Herbert is 4 for 15 on the game. Really, really awful performance. Does manage to find Hayden Hurst in the flat for the first time. And it comes back for a holding penalty this time. Joe Alt, he's not been responsible for many penalties so far this season, but that's going to be a big one. And a false start on the offense now. Makes it a 2nd and 25. Just going to hit Lad McConkey on a little screen. What a tackle that is. And the Titans are taking timeouts. As if they haven't punished us enough in the first half. Wan'Dale Robinson can't make the grab. It's going to be 4th and 23. We're going to have to pump back to the Titans. With 8 seconds left on the clock, they might have time to run a Hail Mary, and that's about it. But we'll see what they can do with the return first. Good coverage down the field. And Junior Colson there to make the tackle on special teams. The clock does hit 000. So we will head to the break with a huge, huge deficit. And really with our tail between our legs, because the Titans have absolutely dominated us. And we are going to have to kick to the Titans to start the second half. So they're going to have a chance to make it 30-3 before we even touch the ball again. And the primary goal in this second half is to slow down Tony Pollard. So we have gone defend the inside run for that reason. Oh, and what a route by Calvin Ridley. Derwin James there in close enough coverage in that deep half now that he has moved back to strong safety. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10 for the Titans. And another really good route from Chigakonkwo. Manages to break free off the coverage of Junior Colson to make the grab. Oh, and he's absolutely eaten me alive again there. Derwin James. See, that's Derwin James. Surely he can lay a hit stick. And he just bounces off him. And a hit out of bounds. I'm not sure what more could go wrong in this game. It's been an absolutely disastrous performance for us so far. Could not have gone worse. Tony Pollard, 7-yard gain. And we just have no answer. Again, it's going to be a run left this time. Miles Jack to make the tackle. And I don't even know what to try. I'm going to send Derwin James on a little... I was going to say a delayed blitz. Instead, I picked up Tony Pollard out of the backfield. Dylan Radon's injured now for the Titans. So potentially might impair their ability to run the ball slightly. I'm not going to bet on it though. As the Titans again approach our end zone, the 6-yard line is where they start. Big tackle, Joey Bosa. But they do gain another 4. They're going to be all the way down at the 3 with the goal line tantalizingly close. And if Tony Pollard wants to run up the middle, he's going to have pretty much an open hole. I was there. I was there with Miles Jack. I'm staring at Tony Pollard. No tackle animation. I promise you I'm spamming tackle. I promise you I'm spamming it. I read that pretty well. Like, look at Miles Jack. Just walking like this over... I'm there in the hole, controlling Miles Jack, looking at Tony Pollard, spamming tackle. And he's just dancing a little jig. 30-3. Unassailable lead for the Titans, it has to be said. Horrific game for the Chargers, it also has to be said. I mean, we did make our team significantly weaker ahead of the game with those trades. But they shouldn't have made this much of a difference, especially considering... Well, I mean, we did trade away Khalil Mack and Corey Linsley. 2 big players in terms of establishing the run for us and stopping the run against the opposition. So let's try and put a touchdown on the board, shall we? That would be nice. Hayden Hurst, lots of room to run. Chased down by 3 Titans. But he does get it all the way into Titans territory on one play. So 1st and 10 from the 48, and we'll run the ball behind Andrew Norwell. Kamani Vidal manages to pull forwards and picks up 6 yards. So 2nd and 4 from about midfield. And we have a man over the middle. It's going to be Lad McConkey. No gain on the play somehow. So 3rd down, and we are going to run the ball with just 4 yards left to gain. And J.K. Dobbins gets awfully close. And he is going to have a generous spot there. It looked like he was just short. But the referees do give him the 1st down. I'm going to run play action here on 1st down. We have a fullback out in the flat. Wide open, Zander Horvath. Really, really good gain as we approach the Titans' red zone for, I believe, the 1st time today. And we're going to be able to tell how our day is going with this particular play that we do like to run in this kind of area of the field. We have Lad McConkey. He is going to be able to stretch over the line for the touchdown. And we are on the board with the touchdown at the very least. It's going to be still a 20-point gain, or 20-point lead rather, for the Titans, I believe. 30-10, pending the extra point. But it's not completely over yet. A turnover changes this game. A quick 3 and out and another touchdown changes this game. I said it was an unassailable lead. I guess that all depends what happens on these next 2 drives. If we can get the ball back from the Titans one way or another quickly here and put up another touchdown, potentially we are still in this. And we are going to go goal line here on 1st and 10. And the decision pays off because we forced Tony Pollard back 2 yards. John Johnson the third there to make the tackle. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 12 for the Titans. And Will Levis going to throw into the flat where DeAndre Hopkins makes the grab. We do manage to pull him down. But just a 3rd and 3 for the Titans here. A big, big down coming up. If we can hold the Titans here, force them to kick us the ball back. Nope. It's Traylon Burks, I believe. Miles Jack lays the wood. And it is Traylon Burks. 6 of 49 today, but that's a big, big catch. Because it does allow the Titans to move the chains. Really unfortunate, though. We made a couple of good play calls. Starting with goal line on 1st down. And again, it's just wide open in the flats. And again, the Titan just bounces off the tackle. And the frustrating thing about those catches in the flats is I'm playing Tampa 2. And in Tampa 2, I should have the flats covered there. I'm not sure why Okonkwo was so wide open when I've called a coverage that really should be taking away that area of the field. It's going to be a 2nd and 3 for the Titans here on the 30-yard line. We have not been able to stop them as we hoped we might. And there's 2 Chargers defenders all over that one. So it's going to be a 3rd and 6. Titans just about in field goal territory. There's a jump, though, I believe. I think it's going to be a false start on the Titans, and it is. This could well force them back out of field goal range. It's going to be a 3rd and 11. I think we should send a bit of heat at Will Levis here. Try and force the ball out quickly. Or get in for the sack and truly force the Titans out of field goal range. And that's exactly what we've done. Junior Colson on target to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. Gets in for the sack. And that's another big call on 3rd and long. And it does force the Titans to punt. So we said these back-to-back drives are going to be really important. Really good punt, though. Pins us inside our own 10. But we've held the Titans to no points. And we have a chance to put 7 more on the board for ourselves here. To try and get back into this game late. What a comeback it would be. We're going to run the ball on 1st down to get things going. We can get absolutely nothing going, though. So not a good start, but 2nd and 10. We're going to have Johnson up the seam, makes the grab, moves the chains up to the 26-yard line. Let's run a little bit of hurry up here. We don't exactly have all the time in the world. And again, we've got Quentin Johnston. Again, the linebacker vacates that area of the field. And again, Quentin Johnston takes it up for a big gain. And again, we are going to run hurry up. This time we're going to go read option. As Justin Herbert keeps it. That's entirely the wrong decision, and he loses 2. And just as we get Justin Herbert in the zone, immediately he is back out of it. How has that Titans defender shrugged off 2 Chargers offensive linemen? And then how did Kamani Vidal manage to stay on his feet is the next question. Not really sure of the answer to either of those, but 3rd quarter is going to tick away here as the Titans have a 30-10 lead. But we are still in this, just about. So 3rd and 6 to get this 4th quarter kick started. And again, he is absolutely shrugged off our offensive lineman. Thought he'd held the block for long enough to allow J.K. Dobbins to squeeze through. But what a block shed at the last moment by number 91. Is that Zach Sealer? And it brings up a 4th and 8. I mean, we're going to have to go for it. We've got no choice. We averaged 12 yards per play on this particular screen, and it does look like it's set up nicely, and we can't throw the ball. Throw the ball, Justin Herbert. You're going to allow the pressure in on the screenplay. You have to throw the ball. second time turnover rather of the game on downs. We would have had it easily. J.K. Dobbins would have walked over the first yard line, or the first down line rather. And now I'm offside with Junior Colson, just trying to get a jump. Went too soon. 1st and 5. Tony Pollard, big tackle, Poona Ford. 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. Run left with Tony Pollard. Cuts it back up the middle. Nothing there. 3rd and 3. And it's going to be another run to Tony Pollard. Middle of the field, completely vacated. Completely vacated. Not sure whose responsibility it was to be plugging that particular run gap, but they shirked that responsibility, whoever it was. And this game is gone. We had to score on the last drive. We turned the ball over. And the Titans are probably going to score here. And my players are running into each other, trying to get across. And it's my own players that are blocking me off. It's not even the Titans this time. It's one thing for the Titans players to be getting my players caught up, but my own players are running into each other at this stage. Wide open in the flat, Tony Pollard. Junior, make a tackle. Make a tackle. I'm making contact with the Titans player and spamming tackle. You just don't even get a tackle animation. It wasn't even a broken tackle. He just ran into him. 3rd and goal. Tony Pollard looking to make it 200 yards on the ground. He's got 164 so far. And we're going to commit to the run up the middle. If the Titans want to do anything else, they're going to have a walk-in touchdown. They do run. What a tackle that is, Miles Jack. Stops the touchdown. Titans are going to put 3 more points on the board, though. They're going to go for it. I hate the Titans. I absolutely hate the Titans. And they've got a touchdown. Why go for it there? Why go for it? Absolutely no need. I hate the Titans. Not just because I'm a big Colts fan, but because of this game now. 37-10. Screw the Titans. Darius Davis, a chance to return. Ball doesn't even enter the end zone this time. And again, the block's set up well. All we can find is the 24-yard line. This game has been an absolute embarrassment in every conceivable way. What a block that is. 71. Who are you? Is that Salyer? I forget his first name. Jamari, maybe. Whoever that was. It was McFadden pulling from his center position. Absolutely brutalized that Titans defender. And we're going to run the ball here on 1st and 10 because that looks too inviting not to. J.K. Dobbins close to a first down. It's going to be 2nd and inches. And we'll run a draw play here on 2nd and inches. J.K. Dobbins gets another 6 or 7. I think we're going to have Ladd McConkey here. And we do have Ladd McConkey with the quick pass. Ladd McConkey, like Junior Colson, looking for a Rookie of the Year award come the end of the season. Just 4 for 40 today. But if we could get him a touchdown late, it wouldn't be such a bad game for him. Yeah, oh man. Split second away from finding Quentin Johnston down the field there. Play action here on 2nd down. Ladd McConkey down the field. And he is in for a touchdown. His stat line earlier didn't show a touchdown, but he did actually score on that jet motion out of the pistol that we scored our touchdown on earlier on. So that should be 2 touchdowns on the day for Ladd McConkey. It just showed that he was 4 for 40 today. But that should be, what, 4 for 70 with 5 for 70 rather with 2 touchdowns now. So not a bad performance at all for Ladd McConkey. Maybe it wasn't quite as many as 30 yards on that last play, but it should be 4 for 60 something at the very least. Or 5 for 60 something rather, because obviously he's made an additional grab there. Junior Colson, get there. Does make the tackle. We're just trying to rack up stats now for our rookies at this point. The game is gone. 20-point lead for the Titans. Under 4 minutes to go. Let's just try and get Junior Colson as many tackles as we can. Lad McConkey as many catches as we can. Please make a tackle, somebody. I'm not sure if you guys use my sliders, but if you have seen my slider set for Madden 24, you will know that the user tackle slider is at 99. This is 99 tackle. Our defenders just bouncing off players. So another 1st and 10 for the Titans. We get absolutely eaten alive here. Tony Pollard. Junior Colson there to make the tackle again. Not quite a tackle for loss this time. Tony Pollard does have his 200 yards. And I think in future, we're just going to have to commit to defending the run up the middle. Oh, absolutely drilled by Noah James. We're just going to have to commit to defending the inside run and calling plays that help us to do that, because I really don't see any other way that we're going to be winning games and keeping things close on defense going forward. We just need to get some impactful players on defense, really. There's no point trying to work out a defensive scheme when you're playing so many players who shouldn't really be starting, and some players who should barely even really be on a roster. So defense is kind of a write-off this year. We need to try and refine the offensive scheme ahead of next season. But defense is pretty much a write-off, and we'll look to get a big infusion of talent on that side of the ball via free agency and the draft. But just over a minute to go. Let's run this clock out. Get out of here with a 40-17 defeat. And lick our wounds ahead of week 9. Darius Davis to return first of all, though. Big block shed. Again, holds him to just the low 20s. And let's just get that clock moving with a run play. Big block Jordan McFadden. He's actually been really, really good today. And again, we'll run the ball here on 2nd and 3. Decent enough block by Quentin Johnston. At least he can do that, because he certainly can't run routes and he certainly can't catch the ball, that's for sure. But the Titans don't take any more timeouts. They do allow the clock to run out. And it's going to be a 40-17 victory for the Titans as their dominant season continues. They move to 7-1 as we approach the halfway point here in the 2024-25 season. Really big performance from them. And a really disappointing, tepid performance from us. We allowed 443 yards to the Titans today. We put up 293 somehow. I don't know how that happened. We somehow managed to find 183 yards through the air. The majority of those coming in the second half. 205 yards on the ground for the Titans is just unacceptable, pretty much. What a day for Will Levis. 22 of 27 for an 81% completion rate. 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Justin Herbert, aside from the completion rate, actually had a fine game. He had a really bad start, but in the second half, he was fine. 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Let's not even look at the Titans' rushing statistics. That would depress me far too much. But, I mean, looking at ours isn't going to particularly please me. Let's put it that way. But J.K. Dobbins, 5.5 on the ground for 78 yards. 3 for 34 for Kamani Vidal. 5 for 70 and 2 touchdowns. So it was exactly 5 for 70 in the end for Lad McConkey. Another really good showing from him. Quentin Johnston, 2 for 46. Nobody did anything else. Defensively, Junior Colson put up 15 tackles. What an absolute beast. 2 of them for loss, and he had a sack. How he's not going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much locked up already. Joey Bosa got in for a sack as well. No interceptions, no forced fumbles. And not only did we get absolutely embarrassed by the Titans, but we also got 3 injuries in the meantime. So in addition to Rashawn Slater, who was out for an additional 2 weeks, Morgan Fox is going to be out for 5. Darius Davis goes down for 4. And we've only just signed Fatukasi, but he's going to be out for 5 weeks. So I think we take a much closer look at those defensive linemen that we saw earlier in the episode. The likes of LaMarcus Alley, the likes of those edge rushers in Casey Alexander, Luke Kincaid, Peter Lawrence, Dylan Matthews, because we need all the help that we can get on the defensive line based not only on those injuries, but on that dominant performance by the Titans as well. The Cardinals are our opponents in week 9 at SoFi Stadium, but it's increasingly feeling like we should be embracing the tank, so potentially we won't look to get back in the win column next week. Either way, I hope to see you there. Take it easy.